Looks like we've arrived at our home for the night. There.
Two tunnels, a scary path and an unbelievable river gorge. We're hiking in northern Yunnan, right here on Drone and Phone.
Welcome to the second episode of our Yunnan adventure. I'm here with Andy. Now we're in a very special place in this very steep gorge. We're going to be walking down the river towards Baoshan stone village today. How was the journey to get here? Because we need to rewind a bit.
TJ, it was absolutely wild, I've got to say. The roads were so windy. It's very, very high up here, but they were so narrow, and the drops at the side of the road, every single bend, it was crazy.
It was really quite an adventure, and this is a really nice place to stay. We've been staying in a homestay, quite basic, but it has everything that you need to get a good night's sleep and get yourself organised, and food and everything. Right, sun's gone in, time to get going.
I'm looking forward to it.
Nestled between the Tibetan Plateau and the deep gorges of the Yangtse and Mekong rivers is one of China's most spectacular outdoor adventure destinations, northern Yunnan. Towering snow-capped peaks dominate the skyline, while dramatic gorges offer world-class trekking along cliffs and rushing rivers. We know it's not easy to self-organise your own trips into remote areas of the Chinese mainland, so in this series we guide you through 8 amazing hikes that all start and finish at a comfortable bed for the night. For this series, I'm along with an old friend, Andy Jameson, now a regular fixture on Drone and Phone and always up for an adventure. We are dividing the second hike in the series into 2 parts with an overnight stop in Baoshan Stone Village. We start with a spectacular 4-hour drive northeast of Lijiang to the small hamlet of Shangyangliu. Here we get out of the jeep and hike down to a homestay perched on the edge of a rocky valley. The homestay provides cheap lodging with full dinner and breakfast, the perfect staging post for the next day's hike.
So we're just setting off, and the trail is marked by a red ribbon to show us where to go. We're going to be following the river today and tomorrow, we think. For the next one, we're going to be going along the Yangtze River, the Jingsha River. Hopefully going to get some spectacular views.
The hike, as we are going to discover, is essentially a gorge walk along the Jingsha River. Roughly translated, Jingsha means golden sand and is the local name given for the upper reaches of the Yangtse. The river snakes up and down through northern Yunnan and will be the same river we will come across throughout the series.
Well, we've just only completed our first kilometre. It's very easy going so far. A little bit of technical stuff. I mean, it's not a flat path. There are rocks to negotiate, but nothing major. Look at the views that we're getting all the way along here. Now this is a very similar walk to Tiger Leaping Gorge, but you're not going to get any people along here, or very few. We haven't encountered anyone, and indeed there was no one else staying at our lodge last night. So as long as you're not doing it on a public holiday, you're probably going to find it's all good.
The path clings close to the cliff along rocky gravel tracks. Not before long we come to what looks like the end of the path, where our guide, He Chan, explains what we need to do.
这个洞是90米，叫老虎洞，然后横穿一个山，穿过去，然后就到另一个地方了。快要离近我们宝山石头城了。今天有这样2个洞，一个是90米洞，一个是60米洞。等一下还会有一个。这
是60米？
这个是90米。
90米。OK。
And this is quite exciting, I've got to tell you. It's a proper tunnel, and it's going all the way through the mountain and out the other side. In actual fact, look at that. How cool is that?
The tunnels were carved out in the 1950s to make the treacherous paths a little safer for villagers and their horses bringing goods to market. Up until this point, the mountains have shielded us from the main Jingsha Valley, but exiting the cave, we get our first real look at the gorge we will be following for 2 days, and it is remarkable.
Now, I'm not 100% sure of this because the guide has gone on, but I'm pretty sure that this village down here is our halfway point. There's a village along the way, and we're basically going to be walking down this gorge all day today. In that case, that far village could be Baoshan village, our final destination, which is 18 kilometers away. We've so far done a couple of kilometers, so 16 kilometers it could be.
Time to cut in and correct myself with hindsight. The path along the Jingsha Gorge is indeed 18 kilometers. However, Baoshan village, where we will stay on the first night, is 11 kilometers from our start at Shangyangliu village. And we will walk the remaining 7 kilometers the next day, continuing along the river to Yangtse, which is our final destination. Okay, back to the hike. We are finding some problems.
The path really disappears quite quickly, but the path actually goes up along there, so the angle of the path is slightly that way as well. So mind your step when you're going along these paths. It's very slippy.
So there are some sections where you can't see the path. It's been taken away by landslides, but just look for the ribbons. There's normally one there, and you'll find your way back to the path.
After we scrambled through the second tunnel, the path digs deep into the mountain, offering what turns out to be the picture of the series. As we progress, so do the dangers along the route.
Well, I've got to say, these trails are quite slippy, and we would not recommend this route for beginners. Even people who are comfortable with the distance but hasn't done this kind of terrain, because it's actually not, the problem is not the distance or the height, but as you can see down there, look at the dust that Andy's already thrown up. It's very slippy along here, and you kind of have to have a very good pair of shoes and a good sort of sense of grip.
That evening, we were to meet a trail builder who was about to begin work on making this trail safer for hikers. So hopefully by the time this is published, the path will be greatly improved. We suggest you check with a local guide to find out before setting off. For us, it was only the first few kilometers that presented any danger. Soon after that, you begin to hit small communities with very welcoming locals.
A local villager has just invited us into his place where we can take a rest for a little bit. On my watch, we've only done just under 7 kilometers. He says about another 7 to go, but it's clearly a lot easier on the way. Still to go.
With the hard part behind us and some food and drinks, we set off again, refreshed, and this time along a dirt road. Although the distances are quite short and the elevation nothing to worry about, we still find we are struggling a little with the high altitude, burning sun and dry air.
Now, not sure how much you can see here, but that gorge, we've walked all the way around there. It seems from this angle completely impossible. It's just sheer rock face. But somehow we've found a path that's taken us around and along and into this village from the other side there. And now we're coming on down the river, but we're going to go up this road now, which is well, it's uphill, but it's certainly a nice change from walking on shingle.
We climb up and over a cliff face along the road and then get our first clear view of Baoshan Stone Village. The centuries-old Nashi settlement, perched atop a massive mushroom-shaped rock in the Jingsha River Gorge, is surrounded by sheer cliffs and terraced fields. It's famous for its stone-built houses, narrow gates and panoramic views, a rare glimpse of traditional life that we are going to experience firsthand. As we slowly make our way down, Andy has one tip for anyone planning a trip here.
One of the things I'm really noticing is how dry the air is. It's very hot, extraordinarily dry. And these trees, they just look like tinder. They might go up at any time. I guess we're just waiting for the rainy season to come. Gosh, my mouth gets so dry. It's so hot, but I must have drunk about 4 litres so far today, and I'm still thirsty. It's amazing.
As we approach the village, we enter the terraced rice fields and wooden structures, stopping to top up on one more drink before ascending into the old village. We will cover our stay here in the next episode before we continue along the gorge to finish the hike.
Well, that's almost it. We're coming into the Baoshan stone village now. Gotta say, Andy and me found it pretty tough, that last section. I was doing fine up until then, but maybe it's a combination of the altitude and the heat, because the hiking actually wasn't that difficult, but we both felt it a bit. Anyway, we're on the outskirts of the village and soon to finish. Well, Andy, we've reached Baoshan Stone Village. Absolutely beautiful place right on the Yangtse here. Tough one. I gave you a little special tour at the end to try and find the hotel. How's it been for you?
Well, let's start on the start. It was utterly stunning. Some of the views, the best panoramas I've ever seen in my life. I loved that bit. But as the walk got longer and hotter, I've got to say I got more and more tired. I was totally exhausted at the end.
Yeah, we got caught in some very hot weather towards the end, which made, although not too difficult in terms of the trail towards the end, it made it that much harder. Now, if you're finding this for the first time, you're going to find all of our Yunnan episodes and much, much more on our website at droneandphone.com and also on our YouTube channel. For now, my name's DJ.
And I'm a very tired Andy J.
He is very tired indeed. And this is Drone and Phone. Have a look at that. Clearly been some animals in here.